What's something people don't know about the Industrial Revolution? It wasn't just about machines and factories. Now let's delve deeper into the four leading causes of this transformative era. Each cause played a critical role in shaping the world as we know it today. First, let's talk about technological advancements. Imagine a world where everything is handmade, and then suddenly, machines start doing the work for you. This leap in technology was monumental. Take James Watt's improvements to the steam engine, for example. By making steam engines more efficient, factories could now operate machinery at unprecedented speeds and scales, boosting productivity like never before. This wasn't just limited to factories. Steam engines also revolutionized transportation, making it faster and more reliable. Next up, we have the expanding population. During the 18th and 19th centuries, Britain saw a significant population increase. More people meant more workers and more consumers. This growing labor force was essential for manning the factories and producing goods at a large scale. Simultaneously, the increased population created a higher demand for goods, which in turn spurred further industrial growth. Picture bustling cities filled with workers and families, all contributing to and benefiting from the new industrial economy. The third cause is the access to vast natural resources. Britain was blessed with abundant coal and iron ore, which were crucial for powering machines and building infrastructure. Coal was the lifeblood of the Industrial Revolution, fueling steam engines and heating homes. Iron, on the other hand, was essential for constructing machinery, railways, and buildings. This rich natural resource base gave Britain a significant advantage and was a cornerstone of its industrial prowess. Lastly, let's consider the economic landscape ripe for investment. The 18th century saw the rise of financial institutions like banks and stock exchanges, which provided the necessary capital for industrial ventures. Wealthy investors were eager to fund new inventions and businesses, hoping for substantial returns. This influx of investment capital enabled entrepreneurs to turn their innovative ideas into reality. Think of Richard Arkwright, whose water frame revolutionized the textile industry. Without the financial backing, his groundbreaking invention might never have seen the light of day. So there you have it, the four key causes of the Industrial Revolution: technological advancements, an expanding population, access to natural resources, and a thriving economic landscape. Each of these factors interplayed to create the perfect storm for industrialization, setting the stage for a new era of human progress and innovation. In this chapter, we'll shine a spotlight on some of the key inventors whose groundbreaking innovations propelled this transformative era forward. Their contributions not only revolutionized industries, but also laid the foundation for the modern world we live in today. First, let's talk about James Watt. As we mentioned earlier, Watt's improvements to the steam engine were nothing short of revolutionary. By enhancing the efficiency and power of steam engines, Watt enabled factories and transportation systems to operate at unprecedented levels. His work essentially powered the Industrial Revolution, making him one of its most iconic figures. Next, we have Richard Arkwright. Known as the father of the modern industrial factory system, Arkwright invented the water frame, a machine that significantly improved the efficiency of textile production. This innovation allowed for the mass production of yarn and cloth, drastically reducing the time and labor required. Arkwright's water frame set the stage for the mechanized textile industry, transforming it into a powerhouse of the Industrial Revolution. Another pivotal figure in the textile industry was James Hargreaves. Hargreaves invented the spinning jenny, a machine that allowed a single worker to spin multiple spools of thread simultaneously. This innovation greatly increased the efficiency of textile production and reduced the labor needed, further advancing the industry. We must also acknowledge Henry Bessemer, whose invention of the Bessemer process transformed the steel industry. Before Bessemer's innovation, steel production was slow and costly. His method of converting pig iron into steel through oxidation allowed for the mass production of high-quality steel. This was a game changer for industries like construction, shipbuilding, and railways, fueling further industrial growth and innovation. Lastly, let's not forget Samuel Morse, the inventor of the telegraph and Morse code. His work revolutionized communication, making it possible to send messages over long distances almost instantaneously. This leap in communication technology had profound implications for business, government, and personal communication, effectively shrinking the world and speeding up the pace of life. These inventors and their innovations were the lifeblood of the Industrial Revolution. Their genius and creativity not only solved existing problems, but also opened up new possibilities, driving progress and shaping the future. As we continue our exploration of this remarkable era, let's take a moment to appreciate the ingenuity and perseverance of these pioneering individuals. As we continue our exploration of the Industrial Revolution, it's important to acknowledge that this era of rapid innovation and progress was not without its challenges. In this chapter, we will delve into the various problems faced during the Industrial Revolution and the solutions that were devised to address them. One of the most pressing issues was the harsh working conditions in factories. Workers, including women and children, often toiled for long hours in unsafe and unhealthy environments. The lack of labor regulations meant that factory owners could exploit their workers with little consequence. To combat these injustices, social reformers and labor unions began advocating for change. The Factory Acts, introduced in the early 19th century, were a series of laws aimed at improving working conditions. These acts limited working hours, set minimum age requirements for workers, and mandated safer working environments. Another significant problem was urbanization. As people flocked to cities in search of employment, urban areas became overcrowded, leading to inadequate housing, poor sanitation, and the spread of diseases. The rapid growth of cities strained existing infrastructure, and local governments struggled to keep up with the demands. In response, urban planners and public health officials implemented various measures. The construction of modern sewage systems, improved waste management, and the development of public health initiatives helped mitigate some of the adverse effects of urbanization. Additionally, the introduction of building codes and zoning laws ensured that new housing met certain standards of safety and hygiene. Environmental degradation was another critical issue. The increase in industrial activity led to significant pollution of air, water, and soil. Factories emitted large quantities of smoke and pollutants, contributing to poor air quality and health problems for urban residents. Water sources were contaminated by industrial waste, affecting both human health and local ecosystems. To address these environmental concerns, governments and activists began pushing for regulations and cleaner technologies. The introduction of smokestack scrubbers, waste treatment plants, and environmental laws aimed to reduce pollution and promote sustainability. Child labor was a particularly egregious problem during the Industrial Revolution. Children as young as 5 or 6 years old were employed in factories, mines, and other hazardous workplaces. They were often subjected to grueling work schedules and dangerous conditions, with little regard for their well-being. The widespread use of child labor sparked outrage and led to calls for reform. Campaigns by social reformers such as Lord Shaftesbury and the efforts of organizations like the National Child Labor Committee played a crucial role in raising awareness and pushing for legislative change. The eventual implementation of child labor laws, such as the Factory Act of 1833, helped to protect children from exploitation and ensure their right to education. Lastly, the Industrial Revolution brought about significant economic disparities. While industrialists and entrepreneurs amassed great wealth, many workers lived in poverty and struggled to make ends meet. The gap between the rich and the poor widened, leading to social tensions and unrest. In response, various social and economic reforms were introduced. The emergence of cooperative movements, the establishment of social welfare programs, and the push for progressive taxation aimed to address these inequalities and promote a more equitable distribution of wealth. The Industrial Revolution was a time of great progress, but it also presented numerous challenges. The problems faced during this period were complex and multifaceted, requiring innovative solutions and collective efforts. By acknowledging these issues and learning from the past, we can better appreciate the resilience and ingenuity of those who sought to create a more just and sustainable society. As we continue our exploration of the Industrial Revolution, it's essential to delve into the ideological thinkers who shaped economic and social theories during this transformative era. Two of the most influential figures were Adam Smith and Karl Marx. Their contrasting ideologies not only defined the economic landscape of their time, but also left a lasting impact on the world. Adam Smith, often referred to as the father of modern economics, was a Scottish economist and philosopher. His seminal work, The Wealth of Nations, published in 1776, laid the foundation for classical economics. Smith's ideology emphasized the importance of free markets and the invisible hand that guides supply and demand. He argued that individuals acting in their self-interest inadvertently contribute to the overall good of society. One of the strengths of Adam Smith's ideology is its emphasis on efficiency and innovation. By allowing markets to operate freely, competition drives businesses to improve their products and services, leading to technological advancements and economic growth. Another strength is the promotion of individual liberty. Smith believed that individuals should have the freedom to pursue their economic interests without excessive government intervention, fostering a sense of personal responsibility and entrepreneurship. However, Smith's ideology also has its weaknesses. One significant drawback is the potential for income inequality. Without regulatory measures, the free market can lead to a concentration of wealth among a few, while many may struggle to make ends meet. Another weakness is the neglect of social welfare. Smith's focus on self-interest and market efficiency often overlooks the need for social safety nets and the well-being of vulnerable populations. On the other hand, Karl Marx, a German philosopher, economist, and socialist revolutionary, offered a starkly different perspective. His works, including the Communist Manifesto and Das Kapital, critiqued the capitalist system and proposed a classless society. Marx's ideology centered on the idea that capitalism inherently leads to exploitation and class struggle. He envisioned a society where the means of production are collectively owned and wealth is distributed according to need. One of the strengths of Marx's ideology is its focus on social justice and equality. By advocating for the abolition of private property and the redistribution of wealth, Marx aimed to eliminate class disparities and ensure that everyone has access to basic necessities. Another strength is the emphasis on collective well-being. Marx believed that a cooperative approach to production and distribution would lead to a more harmonious and equitable society. However, Marx's ideology also has its weaknesses. One significant drawback is the potential for inefficiency and lack of innovation. Without the profit motive, there may be less incentive for individuals and businesses to innovate and improve productivity. Another weakness is the risk of authoritarianism. In practice, attempts to implement Marxist principles have often resulted in centralized control and suppression of individual freedoms, contradicting the ideology's original intent of promoting equality and justice. In conclusion, both Adam Smith and Karl Marx offered compelling ideologies that addressed the economic and social challenges of their time.